You know, we're always hearing about the big, obvious dangers to our health. But what if one of the biggest threats out there is something you're probably doing at this very moment? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on what the science says happens to your body when you're in a chair. We're talking about the hidden dangers of an activity we all do every single day: sitting.
So let's start with a little personal question. Just think back to yesterday and be honest. How many hours did you actually spend sitting down? I mean, really count it up. Breakfast, your commute, maybe sitting at a desk, then dinner and relaxing on the couch. It adds up way faster than you think, right?
If that number feels a little high, well, you are definitely not alone. The average American over 50 spends about 9.5 hours a day just sitting. Think about that for a second. That's more time than most of us spend sleeping. It's like working a full-time job where your only task is to be completely still. And our bodies, which were built for near constant movement, they just weren't designed for this.
Now, this isn't just some catchy phrase to scare you. This is a direct warning from the Mayo Clinic, one of the most respected health organizations in the world. They are literally putting a sedentary lifestyle in the same danger category as smoking. That should really make all of us sit up and pay attention, because they do not make comparisons like that lightly.
And believe it or not, it gets even more serious. The medical world actually has a name for all the health problems that come from sitting too much. They call it sedentary death syndrome. I know. It sounds incredibly dramatic, doesn't it? You're just resting. How can it be that bad? Well, it turns out that on a biological level, some really strange and frankly, scary things start to happen. Your body isn't just resting. Some of its most important systems are actually powering down. So let's break down what is really going on inside your body when you sit. We're going to look at the 3 silent dangers that get triggered the second you settle into a chair. And you'll see why your body essentially starts to shut itself down. Okay, so the first major problem starts with your circulation. I want you to picture a garden hose with water flowing through it. Nice and easy. Well, when you sit down, you are literally putting a kink in the biggest blood vessels in your body, the ones that run through your hips and down to your legs. And get this, the effect is immediate and it's drastic. After just 1 hour of sitting, the blood flow to your legs can drop by up to 50%. That is a massive reduction. We're talking half the flow. The blood doesn't just slow down, it starts to pool up, kind of like a traffic jam in your veins. And that means less oxygen, fewer nutrients, and a real slowdown in clearing out all the waste products. In fact, doctors have a pretty graphic name for this. They call it sludge blood. And yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. Your blood becomes thick, sticky, and slow. This is the whole reason they tell you to get up and walk around on long flights, to stop dangerous blood clots or deep vein thrombosis from forming. But here's the kicker. Your favorite recliner at home is just as dangerous as that airplane seat if you never get out of it.
All right, let's move on to danger number 2, and this one is pretty fascinating. When you sit, you're not just taking a break. You're actively turning off your body's metabolic engine, especially its ability to handle the fat from the food you eat.
See, inside your muscles, you have this super important enzyme called lipoprotein lipase, or LPL. The absolute best way to think about LPL is as your body's own little fat vacuum cleaner. Its whole job is to suck fat and cholesterol molecules right out of your bloodstream and pull them into the muscles to be burned as fuel. It's absolutely crucial for keeping your arteries clear.
And this chart just shows it all so clearly. The very moment you sit down, the electrical activity in your leg muscles just flatlines. And because of that, your body's production of that fat vacuuming enzyme, LPL, plummets by a shocking 90%. You've essentially just flipped an off switch on your ability to burn fat. So the fat from your lunch, it has nowhere to go. It just hangs out in your bloodstream, raising your cholesterol, and eventually gets stored in all the places you really don't want it. Now, the third danger is a little more sneaky. It's not just about your blood or your metabolism. It's about what happens to your actual muscles. Over time, from just not being used, they can literally forget how to do their job.
And yes, this is a real medical term physical therapists use, gluteal amnesia. Or, to put it a little more bluntly, dead butt syndrome. Look, your glutes are the biggest, most powerful muscles in your entire body. They're supposed to be your engine for everything: walking, climbing, lifting. But when you sit on them all day long, they do absolutely nothing. They get weak, and eventually they just forget how to turn on when you actually need them.
So why does this matter so much? Well, because your glutes are the foundation of your entire core. When they're weak, other parts of your body have to work overtime to pick up the slack, and that creates this whole cascade of problems. You got that nagging lower back pain? It might actually be coming from your butt. Your smaller back muscles are getting strained. Same thing for that persistent knee pain. Without strong glutes, your whole leg alignment gets thrown off, putting a ton of stress on your knees. And all this leads to that classic old person stoop, as your hips get tighter and pull your whole posture forward.
Okay, I know, that was a lot of pretty alarming news, and it's easy to feel kinda helpless. But I promise you, this is not a life sentence. The solution is surprisingly simple, and it's something every single one of us can do. You don't need a fancy gym or some grueling workout. The antidote is just frequent, gentle movement. So let's look at a simple 3-step plan to fight back against the chair.
Here it is, your anti-sitting protocol. Just 3 simple but really powerful strategies you can start using today: the 30-minute rule, a great little concept called exercise snacking, and a super important stretch, the daily hip opener. Let's break them down one by one.
Step 1 is the absolute most important one. Set a timer. On your phone, your watch, a kitchen timer, whatever. Every 30 minutes, you just have to stand up. You don't have to do jumping jacks or anything crazy. Just get on your feet, walk to the kitchen for some water, stretch your arms up high. That simple act of standing for just a couple of minutes is enough to completely reboot your biology. It wakes up those LPL enzymes, it gets your blood moving again, and it tells your muscles, hey, it's not time to shut down yet. Next up is exercise snacking, and I absolutely love this idea. Instead of one big, intimidating meal of exercise, you just have small, easy snacks of movement all day long. Waiting for the coffee to brew? Do 10 push-ups against the kitchen counter. Watching TV? Every single time a commercial comes on, stand up and march in place. On a phone call? Make it a personal rule to never take it sitting down. Pace around the room. These tiny little bursts keep your metabolism fired up all day.
And finally, to directly fight back against all that postural damage, you need the hip opener. It's so simple. Just stand up tall, take a small step back with one leg, and then gently push your hips forward until you feel a nice light stretch in the front of that hip. Don't overdo it. Just hold it for 30 seconds and then switch sides. Doing this once in the morning and once at night helps undo all that tightening from the chair and keeps you standing tall.
Okay, the last piece of this puzzle is to take a look around you, at your environment. You can make tiny little changes to your home that will naturally get you moving more, making this whole new habit feel almost effortless.
So let's talk about your main chair. Is it one of those super soft, sinking sofas that basically swallows you whole? A soft chair just encourages you to slump. You want to look for firmer chairs, ones that let you sit with your feet flat on the floor and your knees at a nice 90-degree angle. A good chair actually forces your posture muscles to do their job, which keeps your core engaged and your spine in a much, much healthier position.
So here's the bottom line. It all comes down to a choice that we make dozens of times every single day. On one side, you have the chair, which offers you sluggish blood, fat storage, and pain. On the other side, you have movement, which gives you healthy circulation, a fat-burning metabolism, strong joints, and a confident posture. I mean, when you see it laid out like that, the choice is pretty clear, isn't it?
And that brings us to the end. So I'm going to leave you with a simple personal challenge. For just the next week, can you do it? Can you follow that 30-minute rule? Can you just stand up, even for a moment, every half hour? It is the smallest change that can make the absolute biggest difference. Start today. In fact, start right now. Prioritize movement over stillness. It is the single most powerful investment you can make in your long-term health. Your future self is going to thank you for it.